Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Hey, everybody. How are you? And how's it going? It's another Everything and Nothing podcast with your boy from Brooklyn, Shannon Ambrosio. What's going on? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday so far, and everybody's getting in for their Sunday night groove, settling into whatever you are not going to do for the rest of the evening, and come hang out with your boy, and let's talk for a little bit, see what happens, see what goes on, see what pops up in our minds. So let's do this right away. This is the ENN Studios bringing to you the Everything and Nothing podcast. So that's, going to stay up there for a little bit. Do me a favor, if you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down there, right there. That kind of lets that algorithm know that we're here and we're happy to be here. Thank you very much. So just do the subscribe thing and we'll see what happens right there. All right? That's really, really important. I don't know what else to say. And if you find the need to subscribe, please ring the bell down there. And this way you get notified next time I put a live feed up on the podcast or I put a video up on my channel. So, yeah, do that. Get your bell rung. You heard? And if you want, by all means, let's get this out of the way. We'll figure this out as we go along. Thomas is here already. Thomas is like, yeah, Shannon's up to his Shannonanigans again. And that's how it works right there. You know what I mean? So do that if you feel the urge, right? And if not, you'll share this with somebody. And when you share it with somebody, it shows that you're caring, because sharing is caring. So we'll get that. Just do that real quick right there. And any questions and comments right there, if you really have to. I don't know necessarily if you want to hear what I have to say about everything. Or, well, I mean, you do, kind of. I mean, we're all here together. I mean, that kind of works out. So, yeah, if you feel like hanging out and, you want to have any questions for me, any comments, I don't know, just by all means, leave them right down there in the questions and comments. And look, you know me. I have 2 other channels right here. You see them? Look at me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Don't stare at me when I'm talking to you. You see the 2 channels up there? In the description, you'll find the links to those channels. Go over there and subscribe to those as well, right? Why not? I mean, if you want to follow me on social media, just in case you didn't get enough of me here. If you didn't get enough of me here, then by all means, go down there. Again, I have a lot of assignments today. So go down there in the comments, right, down in the description down there, and you'll find all the links to all these social media things right over here. Look, boom. I'm trying to get coordinated with the way the camera's facing because I look like I'm doing it. I'm like in the bizarro world right now. So everything is the opposite. So I have to go this way to go that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right? Don't worry about it. Just figure it out. All right? And listen to me. If you want to listen to me for a couple of exits in the car in case you ain't got nothing to do and nobody to talk to, find me on all these other audio platforms over there. You throw me on in the car, 2-3 exits, you get by. You'll be all right. Then you return into music you don't even like anymore. But listen, you can listen to me on audio on over there and all that platforms. They're also in the description down there. So do that. And then we'll figure it out, right, as we go along. But how's everybody doing on this wonderful Sunday? I hope everybody's had a good weekend, and I hope that we're looking forward to the week that's coming up. Because sometimes that's all we have to look forward to. It's those things. Sometimes as people, that's the only thing we have to look forward to, and that's the next day. Come on, when I think about it, sometimes it becomes like kind of almost pitiful that we feel that we have felt Thomas, listen to me while I'm ranting for a minute. So, that you're the only one hanging out with us so far. But listen to me as I'm ranting here because you have to, why ain't this coming up? You have to think about it in that fashion because if not, you go crazy. Let's turn this down and wait for this to go over and then the line goes. I'm trying to monitor through the other channel that I have. So that's why I have that. I have the other one, if that makes sense. And I'm trying to read some of the comments. And sometimes it gives me a hard time. Will there be an Easter podcast next Sunday? Oh, what? I don't know. I guess it depends, Thomas, on if I go to Mom's. If I go to Mom's next Sunday, then maybe not. Maybe not. Right? But so far, if I'm here, if Mom decides to come back or whatever, and I cook here, then maybe. But if not, no, Thomas, thank you for asking. That's very nice. Thomas, listen, you're thoughtful, bro. Thomas, you're just a thoughtful dude. That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. And that's kind of like, Thomas, that brings me to this. Sailor's here. How are you, Sailor? And please share this out. I know you can share it out on your thing that you're watching right now. So you can share this out, Thomas and Sailor, if you like. Let's try and get some more people in here. But the idea of today, what I was thinking about and how wonderful it is to see Thomas always, is how lucky are we to be alive? Like, I mean, I've been really curious in my mind because lately I've been thinking a lot about this politics stuff, right? And I've been talking a lot about how government control happens and how it is happening and it's going to continue to happen. But it kind of brings me to this other idea of what it means to me to be alive, like what the odds are. If we, right, if every one of us as an individual stopped for like 2 minutes, right, and just thought to ourselves, wow, what are the odds of any human being on this planet right now in time? Like, in other words, me, you, and who or whomever you know, or anybody that's watching or not watching or will watch or whatever, is that what are the odds that you are alive? And there is a number for that, in case most people don't know. And it's the closest approximation we could possibly understand in our terminology, and it has to go by numbers, right? Because that's what odds are. We don't really know what they mean, but the idea of any person being born at any time and existing in life, just in life in general, is 10,2,685,000, if that makes any sense to anybody, right? Because there's way too many zeros. It's almost like for every 100 million is like 2.7 million more. So it's almost the infinite number that you could possibly think of, that any person or any human being could be born at any time. Well, literally anything in existence. The odds of that happening, like us talking right now and you and I being alive, the odds are astronomical to understand. So that's why when I think, like I talk a lot about this government control and the idea of there's just so many people and the odds of us being alive, sometimes it doesn't make any sense that we don't all think that we're in this crazy rat race together because it took so much for us to get here. Just one individual. The odds are 10 trillion to 1 that you're born. And to me, that's just such an astronomical number. Mom is here when I say, but that to me is just an astronomical number to even understand, right? The odds of any one person being alive and existing is over 10 trillion. And just to imagine, that's only one individual, right? And on the planet, I don't know how many billions of people there are. We have some kind of recorded number, right? And it's like 39.4 billion or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it's a very high number. So if you take the odds of any one person having the ability to be born and then multiply that by how many people are actually existing on the planet at one time, that number is, oh my goodness, it's probably not even a number that we could even consider. So when I think about the idea of how, and I'm going to go back to this again, the government thing, is that how they found a way in their crazy system to figure out how to track us all. And how we became a commodity from nothing, right? So the idea that, we could exist at any time and anybody can, right? So if somebody gives birth and that person is born, even if it's not recorded, even if it's never have been recorded, that person will still have had existed, right? And if you think about that, why is there ever a need to keep track of any of that, right? I mean, besides that, maybe your parents or whatever give you a name, and then you have that name, and I guess your name is what the consistency of life is, right? So they give you a name, and then they give you attach a number to it, and it becomes this idea of you are a number. So that's really physically the only way that any of this could be quantified, is that there is a way, they came up with a way to track us all at the same time, simultaneously, without inherent error. And to me, that's just crazy to think about it in that way, right? So the odds of you being alive and existing as we are existing right now, communicating, is astronomically high. And that the fact that we think that, like, when they tell us that those people over there are no good, or these type of people are no good, or those type of people are no good, and I go, man, could you imagine if everybody was no good that they say is? There would be a lot of bad people going around. Pulling themselves off at good people. But that's what I'm saying, when we think about how we feel about separations of people, whether you want to be called this, that, or the other thing, or you live here or you live there, is that we all should just be thankful that we're all just alive, like living, breathing air, and existing at this point in time, that we can remember, that we could talk about. And I don't think we understand that. I don't think we understand the magnitude of how small we are in the cogs, or how small we are cogs in this great thing that's happened, which is called life. And then when we create all these discrepancies between each other, and these boundaries and these borders, and people want to rule over other people, and people want to tell other people what to do and how to do it and when to do it, it baffles me to understand that one of these people in these trillions and trillions of odds of being born, and that they feel that they are dominant or belong on this planet more than the next person. Man, we've all fought just as hard to be here. The odds are so friggin' high. Do we not all understand that we should be responsible for ourselves at any place in time? I think we should. I think we should be thinking about that more, if that makes sense. We should be thinking about, oh my goodness, man, the odds of me being here and that person being here at the same time is so high. I'm just, all I want to do is hug them and tell them it's all right. We're going to try and get through this together. Don't worry about it. It's going to be a bumpy ride the whole way, but we'll figure it out until there's nothing left. But we haven't figured that out yet about humanity. We haven't figured out that we're all just here existing at the same time, in the same time frame, right? Because shoot, I'm 50 whatever, so 50 whatever years ago, I wasn't even here. So nothing mattered to anything, about anything. So if we all think about that idea of the existence, is that 100 years ago, the people that are running this place weren't running this place. There was other people running the place. And I don't know how much better they were at it than these new people, if that makes sense. But it could be anybody that's here that could be doing that at any time. Because the odds are that great that anything can happen at any time. And that's kind of like a message I think wholeheartedly we should all be accepting after a while, is that, my goodness, it's so we're only here for whatever blip that we're here. And then when it's over, it's over. It doesn't matter whatever happens afterwards to any one of us that are here right now. So I always say, why are we making it so hard? Why are we making everything so difficult all the time? What's the need for it? I don't understand. Listen, I understand that we need to evolve for whatever it's worth, or if we call this evolution or takeover, whatever it is, I'm not sure. I think you'd have to paint a different picture for me at this point in time. But the idea is that there has to be a point in which everybody here is just like, yo, it's okay, everything's all right. It's because I'm alive right now, because the odds are so great for me to even be here. And I like that idea. It's a common sense rule, I always talk about this idea of the control and how it's happening, and it happens all around us at any given time. But the underlying message for me is still the same: is that at least I'm here, at least I'm alive. It's part of I'm part of the machine right now, and when I'm not part of the machine anymore, it doesn't matter what happened during my time period, because I won't be here anymore. So the relevance, it has to mean a lot to me, right? In order for me to understand that it's going to hold me to it for until the end, right? So I think about that when I think about this idea of being controlled, and what is all these things, all these things that we do now that we didn't do 100 years ago, or what are all the things that we do now that we think is just so, obligatory, and that it has to, the obligations they go greater and greater every day, and the idea of consuming every day. I don't know if that's what it means to feel alive anymore, right? I guess that's what it is, because we feel alive when certain things happen, right? Like I was talking to somebody the other day, and they had the grandson, and they were saying how my grandson's so young, but they get this separation anxiety from the phones and the TVs and all the videos and all the stuff, and that separation and the consumption of the idea of like, oh my goodness, even at these young ages now, we get so distracted so easy by so many things, and it's hard for us to decipher where the information comes from and if it even exists, because a lot of the information we look at on social media and video and movies, right? Even from back then when they were just making movies, when we didn't have smartphones and television, all these things, movies, all of this idea of this visual stimulation that's given to us to keep us moving in that direction, whatever it is that we're watching, and that is the entire direction that we're going in constantly, I think, right? Because we're always seeking that thing that we think is out of reach for us. And I don't know if that's what it means to be alive anymore, because the natural need for this connection to us, I think my personal idea is the physicality of it, right? I don't even know if that's kind of a word, right? I kind of maybe made that one up just a little bit. Hey, bear with me, folks, okay? My point's trying to come across. So, that's kind of the idea of how I feel about that. It's that when do we have a total separation from connection to us, right? Where it becomes that we're only just that number that makes up the odds of us being alive, and then we don't really, we don't interact with each other much anymore. What if we all just keep maintaining that number existence instead of letting us lead each other to us, right? What if we keep allowing these number systems to be created for us, right? So these group of people are going to be this, and this group of people are going to be that, and then before you know it, then you're going to have a number and a name that's related only to that kind of group and those in that location. That's it. You're not going to have the choice anymore. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to get it back once it's gone. So that's why I said we should all be thankful for just for a little bit. Just for a little bit. That's the idea going off in my head every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? It kind of just makes a little bit more sense to me than us feeling that we're so separated, and start feeling more connected to the fact that we broke the mold, we broke all the odds to even be here now at this point. And that's, to me, is just a wonderful thing. We should be partying a lot more than we are at war with each other, and letting other people tell us we're at war with each other, right? That's kind of a funny way to be, right? We all look to one person to tell us that we don't like those people over there. We don't like those people over there. They ain't no good. It's like, wait a minute here. When did they tell you that it was okay for another person alive now with me and you and whoever else is in the room, that we don't like them anymore? I go, no, it's none of your business. I do what I want. I like who I want. I think it's a great policy, right? We beat the odds. That is the true meaning of defying the odds. There is no other truer meaning when you defy the odds. You defied the odds when you were born, when you transcended from wherever you were before, whatever that may be, from absolutely nothing. We don't get the concept of how this develops and why it develops. It's not for a conquering purpose. It's definitely for a thinking purpose and living together and being communal together. I don't think it's to destroy each other. But who am I? I'm not a scientist. I'm only a mad scientist. I think that's the difference. I'm not, I don't know technically if I could be a scientist, but I'm definitely a mad scientist. That's for sure. I think it works better that way for me, because then I don't have to set boundaries. And I'm not looking for any grants to run my science experiments. I do them all on my own. Sometimes these are good. Sometimes these are no good. That's the way it is. Oh. Sometimes it's on this episode of How Fucked Up is Fucked Up. That's fucked up. It's just the way it is. Sorry. But that's what's going on. I hope, look, the weather's starting to break a little. So what's happening now is that we get during, like in the morning, it's usually a little cold, misty, what have you, right there, being a little fog across the grass. Everybody's happy. We're all waiting for the little Smurfs to run around. And then it gets nice. It gets warm, midday like that. Boom. And then 6:30, 7 o'clock, bang, right back down to freaking zero. What the heck's going on here? Plants come up in the morning, and then all of a sudden, bang, they get cutting loose and going underground. So now you're not growing yet, I'm getting a little uptight. My patience is running thin with the weather this year. Let's see. Wait, who do we got to call in the government to get that changed? Come on, I know there's a phone number out there. People, tell us. I know. They got a hold of everything. You know that, right? They control the weather. Listen, I know and feel every conspiracy theory there possibly is. So, listen to me. If you feel the need...
Oh, hell no!
Chime in at any time. I won't hold it against you. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. It depends on what you start rambling on. Come on now, folks. Leave something down there.
Oh, my God. Who the hell cares?
This guy. I care. That's why I tell you. That's why I tell you all these things. Of course I care. Of course I care, right? But that's the truth. I don't believe anything else except for we should all just be a little more, I think we should be more protective of each other than we are like we want to get at each other, like be mad at each other. We should feel more connected because we're all just getting along. There's not much, we don't know if there's anything after this, right? I said you get one go around on this. So if you're not thinking about the reasons why you're alive and constantly trying to challenge, that's another one. That's another one of my favorites right there. Once, twice, at least. You have to be doing things that kind of just scare you, where you're like, holy cow, I can't believe I did that. Can't believe I tried that. Don't know what came over me. But normally it breaks you out of that idea of what can and can't be done, right? I mean, because if we all just sat back and watched everybody else do things, what the heck? Nothing would ever happen. We'd all be waiting for the next person. We'd all be like, hey, what do you think they're going to do? I'm going to be like, I don't know, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you where I'm going. Thomas right here. Gotta love daffodils. Right, and true sign of spring. Yes, the cold weather by bloom, by all means. Sally, yes, totally. I shut down or simply write and do yoga. And Sherry's like, hello. I'm like, hey. Sandra's with us. How are you, Sandra? How's everything? But that's the truth. I truly believe, me, because I get caught up in the whirlwinds just like everybody else. We all think about these things when we're sitting by ourselves thinking that it can't be possible. Thinking to ourselves that, is that really happening? Is that really what's going on? That they're constantly trying to control us by the idea they know what the odds are of us being alive. And can you imagine that they just manage this idea of these numbers and the number we are? And then they go, wow, this area is worth this much money. This area is worth that much money. And they just keep putting values on us until they understand how much money they're going to get out of us, how long the lifespan is, how they're always doing things to up that. Wow, maybe it's better for us that we, like we go back to the way it was and lifespan was kind of short. I think people realize real fast that, life, oh no, it's not supposed to be like this. I only got 30 years left. Nowadays, they're keeping us alive with everything and anything. Who the heck knows what the hell they're doing to us? Really, if you think about it, right? Look, 150 years ago, you came here, life expectancy was 47 years old. You were ping pong. You were done. You were thinking about funeral arrangements at your 21st birthday. But now, we live to like 100. So, I don't know. What's going on here? What are they doing to us? How's that happen? Or is it just evolution? I don't know. Who's the one that decides that, right? Does the government decide that? Are they really the ones? Like, really, they do the best they can to just. We need to keep them. We're farming these people. We need to keep them alive as long as we can, right? So they gave you a number. They're like, what the odds of you being alive? You should be grateful to us. Now pay us back. I'm like, wait a minute here. You had the same odds as me. How am I responsible for you now? When did I get elected? The beholden. Why don't you get elected the beholden? You come on this side for a little while. We'll see how it is. I'll give you a number. What do you say about that? We got to do it at some point. It has to happen. It has to happen where we say, listen, you take the number back and take it wherever you want to take it and do whatever you want to do with it. And then we decide, hey, listen, I'm going to be named this. You'll be named this. I mean, your number, get out of here with your number. I'll control my own life. I work, I take my own money. You don't get none of it. That's it. Even the boss should be doing that. Even the boss should be like, yo, listen to me. I got to pay him the money. And if he wants to give you any, if he wants to give you any out of his check, that's up to him. Let him decide. But me personally, he did the work. I'm going to pay him for the work. And then he'll decide if you get from the number you gave him. Remember the Social Security thing you said? He's taking your money with that one. But do you see? That's how they know. They know the odds are so great that they gave us numbers. And we should truly accept the idea of being alive. Otherwise, what's the need for it? What's the need for all the time? We got to be tracked. They had to do it to us eventually. They're like, oh, these things are going to get smart. and then what are we going to do? No control. So, anyway, that's a little bit of my how do I feel about the odds of me being alive? And I think the odds are wonderful, and I'm glad I'm here. And I'm glad there was a defiance to the odds for me to exist. True for true. But, yeah, that's it. That's how it goes this week, folks. It's going to be a short one. I'm in thinking about being alive, the prospect of the understanding of me not even understanding what the odds could have been of me being here. But even you folks out there, no, it's too high. And that's why it's wonderful that you're here. We hang out for a little while. We get to talk. We rap a little bit. We need to get this going out there. Folks got to help out. Hit the buttons, the likes, the whole things, all those, the shares, whatever. And it helps the algorithm. And open up the conversation, I know I'm going to start getting deep into more of these very governmental control videos, but that's just me. I happen to think there's a big injustice being done to us at all times without our consent, and I don't think we're aware of how important we really are to each other, and that we really shouldn't be worried about too much else. Especially them not telling us, everything, where to live, how to live, what to do, when not to do it, how to do it. They're separating us more than they want us to be together, letting everybody have their own little cliques. Before you know it, it's just going to be that way. It'll be little cliques everywhere. And if you're not part of that clique, you don't get to hang out or live there, and so on and so forth. And that's going to be a very obscene thing. But I don't know. Maybe it won't. I digress. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe this is all just the Wizard of Oz. And who knows? Somebody's going to click their heels at some point, and you never know where we'll end up. Maybe the hurricane will come take us all away. And that's it. But listen to me. Thanks for coming down. This has been another wonderful of me just talking about everything and nothing. Because sometimes you just got to get it out there. You just got to say whatever it is you're thinking, whether it may be so outlandish that it may make sense to some, but it may only make sense to yourself. But sometimes you just got to say it out loud, because it may make sense. It may. I'm not listening. I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying I'm no Magellan, but I'm just saying, if you needed to discover something, you could probably find it if you really wanted, if you really look for it. Anything. It just doesn't matter. And that's it. I think that's all I got for this week. You folks are wonderful. This Sunday is wonderful. I hope everybody has a wonderful Monday tomorrow. Mondays are always just a little blue, ain't they? Right? We all think about it differently. Even though Monday's not that bad. It's like I was saying when I started out. It's just another day. Don't be so mad at Monday. It really didn't do much to Sunday. Sometimes, you just got to deal. The day is the day. That's it. Monday's Monday. Tuesday will be Tuesday, and so on and so on. It's not going to change. I mean, I don't think it. Not in my lifetime. Who knows? It might. They may change the calendar. They may change everything. Who knows? They've changed they change the time on us all the time, right? It used to be once a year. I don't even remember. Once a year, maybe, right? Before I don't even remember. He was a kid. I don't remember it. And now it's like 2-3 times a year. They're switching the times on us, whatever the hell they want now. Does anybody else notice that, or is it just me? It used to be once a year. They changed the time. Now it's twice. No. They're messing with us. I don't know why. I'm not sure. That part I haven't figured out. Put that in the questions and comments below. This way, we can open up that dialogue. I mean, come on now. They changed the time on us, right? People are like, hey, they switch the clocks back. They switched it ahead. They switched it to the side. Sometimes they go to 3.5. I don't know. I don't know what they do. And sometimes they tell us it happens, and sometimes you just wake up in the morning like, oh, so the time's been reset, and it's an hour 42 minutes back now. And I'm like, wait a minute. When did they sell out? When did they send that memo out? They never sent the memo out. That's the truth right there. I don't even know what to tell you. Like, how do you just change the time? Now we're going to push it back 40 minutes. Don't worry about it. Next week, 3 weeks from now, push back like 2.3. That's it. I'm like, what's going on here? Who makes that decision? There's somebody in the high-ups over there that's deciding how time is getting spent now. They're messing with us. That's why. Maybe that really is, right? Maybe a year. But look, listen to me. Listen to me, all right? Wait a minute.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
My God, are you still talking?
I know I said I was leaving, but hold on for 1 minute. Hold on. What if it was, right? What if it was? Listen to me for a minute. What if it was that 100 years ago, maybe a year was more than 365 days? Hey, I'm just saying, I wouldn't know. How would you know 200 years ago? Look, we've only been here 250 years. Who started that? Who decided that? Right? Maybe we've been here more. Maybe we've been here less. Who actually really knows? Right? We don't know. It's only a number that somebody came up with. That's all it is. So they were like, nah, this is this time. And I'm like, wait a minute. When did it start? When did time really start? When did it really start that you decided, okay, right now, this is second. Oh, and then there's another one. Oh, wait, there's another one. No, who decided that? Come on. Come on. Everybody's like, well, they used the sun and then the shadow. And I go, no, come on. What did they do? They gave it numbers. Then that's where the numbers came. Where did the numbers come from? Who said this 1, 2, 3? No, come on. Come on. Do we not understand that this everything that we deal with in a daily, everything that we have to deal with on a daily basis is all just something created by somebody. That's all it is. Just something created by somebody. Right? How else can we explain it? Right? There was no such thing as a birth certificate here, in case anybody don't know. In this country, right, there was no such thing as a birth certificate before 1934. There was no such thing. No such thing as a birth certificate. Not even 100 years ago, there was no birth certificates. Most people were born at home. You were born, you wrote on a piece of paper the name of the child that you gave it, and you brought it to the town hall. And that's it. And they just recorded the date and your name, and that was it. They were like, oh, this person's here. Now, because before, they weren't. That's what I said. That's why the odds are so astronomical. But that's the truth. Those are real facts. Fact check that right there. I'm telling you. That's what didn't exist. And when you think about it now, right, because it's so long ago, we don't ever imagine or even have the thought that it didn't exist forever. But we don't. We don't know it because there was no record of it before that time. Yeah, they say, well, years ago in the Romans, they chiseled, did it. Yes, but that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a government thing. It was just somebody was born. And you used to put it outside your door. No, look, somebody else lives here now. And they would just go pick it up. There's no number given. No, hey, your number 1733, right? 7 stripes on 2 sides, and that's it. You're them. You're this barcode. We scan you in later. You'll be all right. Won't you? Put you on sale in about 7 years. But it's funny, right? Because that's the truth. There's no such thing as a birth certificate before that. It was a piece of paper you brought to the town, and it just had the new person's that was alive, and that whatever it was. And then they recorded it. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh, wait a minute, there's a lot of people here. We can make a lot of money. Let's get more numbers. And you say we ain't aliens. And well, every one of us has a barcode. Every single one of us that lives now, exists right now in this country, has a barcode. And if you walk into that building, you will be scanned. And I'm telling you right now, you will be scanned. And they know you're here. So they're like, how much is he worth this year? Why do you think you do taxes? Come on, people. Listen up here. Again, all about numbers. You want to know it? It's the truth. The odds of you existing today to be alive is over 10 trillion. So, man, we're all hot commodities. We need to start cashing in our chips, though. We got to start cashing them in because they taking all our chips. They taking the chips. We don't get no chips. They take all the chips. I like chips. You like chips? We got to start getting them chips back. And that's the truth, folks. I think that's it. My time is up. Let's see what else. And you know what? Let me tell you what right now. I got one for you because everybody's going to be asking, right? Let's go back. Here we go. You know who's getting the goat today, right? Father Time. I'm sorry. Father Time, you're getting the goat today. You know why? Because you tricked us, Father. You tricked us into believing there's such thing as time. And now everybody thinks that they're wasting it or don't have enough of it. And that's horrible. I don't think that's a really good way to be. So, listen to me, Father Time, so you don't get the goat again. Next time, remember, every day is a good day. And if you give a smile, I'm sure of it. I mean, I'm not 100% sure because you've been messing with time too much. Let's take away the whole, turn back, turn ahead, skip forward, spring on the side. Let's try and do with the falling all over the place with the time and the springing up and down and sideways. Let's let time, I guess, do what it's supposed to do and kind of leave it alone because it doesn't want to be messed with anymore. And listen to me, the golden rule, if you give a smile, you gonna get a smile. So give a bunch of them smiles out there, folks. We all need them. We all want them. And just think about it. The odds of you being alive is over 10 trillion. So smile. Lighten up, cupcakes. It's only going to get better.